Hey guys, what's going on? For those of you who don't know me, my name's Tanner Erlacher. Today I wanted to make a video to talk about the Hawks. Love the Seahawks, 12th man for sure, as you can see from back there. Uh, so tomorrow's our first game, play against the Broncos. Mainly though today I wanted to discuss the Earl Thomas contract demands and trade speculation and all that. Plus I wanted to go over just highlight some rookie players that probably going to see playing time tomorrow, and then also discuss the Tyler Lockett contract. So to get right into things, my take on Earl Thomas is that we should trade him. I think that we've kind of uprooted the old Legion of Boom and we're starting younger. And I mean, at some point it has to happen. So I'm glad it's happening. Yeah, we will see how we adapt this year. But basically, Earl Thomas I think that he's checked out. I think the only option we have as the Hawks is that we could play him this year and then franchise him next year, which will probably just be a repeat of everything he did this year. So, I mean, there's a chance that if we pick up a free agent next year, we're not even going to get the third round comp pick. And supposedly, it was leaked that the Dallas Cowboys upped their offer to a second round pick. I think if they did, then I don't know why we didn't take it. Uh, Obviously, I can't be too skeptical though because I'm a huge John Snyder fan and I feel like he makes all the right decisions. So, but basically, I think for a second round pick, I think that's good value at this point. Obviously, looking at the Khalil Mack trade, I mean, geez, the Raiders just got a haul, but that's also for an all pro player who's a little bit younger that is at a different position. And to be honest, the safety market has somewhat cooled down. And that's why I actually disagree with Earl I mean, again, I don't know, this is speculation, but I'm going to guess that John Snyder has a contract that he wants to pay him. And obviously they're disagreeing. So Earl Thomas clearly wants too much. Earl Thomas has referenced that he wants Eric Berry type money, and Eric Berry is getting like 12 or 13 million a year, and in my opinion, I think he's overpaid now for the safety market. I mean, Tyrann Mathieu just took a 1 year, $6 million deal. Obviously, he kind of goes into the box, so he's somewhat of a hybrid, but still, I think that Eric Berry type money is just ridiculous. I think a fair offer for Earl would probably be like, I don't know, maybe like a 3 year, 31 million with like 18 million guaranteed. I just, yeah. And then again, I mean, when you think about the problems we've had with Earl, I mean, he ran into the Cowboys locker room, talked to Jerry Jones, said, come get me, which I don't know what that's about, unless he just sensed that this was going to happen. And then on top of that, I mean, his first major injury when he broke his leg was, I mean, he said he was going to retire. I just don't know how you can move forward with a franchise player like that. I mean, don't get me wrong. I love Earl as a player, and I think he's phenomenal flying around. I mean, he is, in my opinion, probably the best safety in the league. But at the same time, it's like when you're saying things like, I'm going to retire, come get me to another team, I mean, that doesn't seem like you're all in with the team. So, in my opinion, I think we should just take the second and get rid of him. In terms of tomorrow, he got activated and it's supposed that he's going to play. I'm a little surprised because I think that unless you're actually in training camp and you're playing, team reps with, practicing plays, all that type of stuff, you're not going to be game ready. I don't care how good a shape you're in, you're not going to be game ready. So it'll be interesting to see. Everybody's really hyped on Tedrick Thompson and said that he was killing it last year in practice. Obviously, we don't see that, but I think that would be great to get Tedrick Thompson out there and see some reps and see how he does. Other rookies that I guess Tedrick Thompson's second year, but other rookies that we're going to see is Michael Dixon, who, in my opinion, I was a little skeptical when we traded up to get a punter, but he looks like the real deal and could potentially be a Pro Bowl punter. And Rasheem Green should get some rotational reps at defensive end and maybe DT. He looks good too. It'll be interesting to see what he does against actually starting level talent. And then Shaquem Griffin. Let's go. Twin brother of Shaq. Or Shaquille, I should say. Yeah, so Shaquem Griffin getting the start, which is crazy. I mean, obviously it's due to injury from KJ, but still, it should be awesome to witness him flying around. Just the fact that he's made it to the NFL and proved everybody wrong, and yeah, just really, a great story of just like proving that determination and not letting people get you down. Like, you can do whatever you want. Like, just go out and do it. Like, no excuses. Just do it. There's an excuse for everything, but just do it. I don't mean to reference Nike there, especially with what's going on, but and then Trey Flowers will be potentially another rookie that'll probably be starting tomorrow. He'll be potentially starting at right cornerback. I think it'd be between him and Nico Thorpe. I just feel like Nico Thorpe has been with the team for the last 2 or 3 years. I feel like he's usually a special teams kind of guy. I mean, he's awesome on special teams, but I just don't really see him get that many reps out at corner. We'll see though. I hope Trey Flowers gets a start. I know Pete Carroll's been pretty high on him, and I just got to say I actually think that for the majority, Pete Carroll and John Snyder are on top of it when it comes to corner. I mean, we had the Kerry Williams signing like a few years back, which, yeah, that was terrible. But most of the time, I feel like when they invest draft capital or trade, like, they hit it with corners. I don't know. I know Pete Carroll's just really good at developing defensive backs, cornerbacks specifically. But yeah, it seems like most of the cornerbacks we draft are pretty solid, or at least that we draft earlier, I guess. But yeah, I'm excited to see Trey Flowers. I mean, a good example of that is the trade last year. I mean, Justin Coleman, we gave up a 7th round pick to the Patriots. I mean, that to me is pennies on the dollar. And yeah, you can argue every pick matters because, I mean, we got Chris Carson in the 7th, but most of the time you're not trading to get a starting caliber player in the 7th round. And Justin Coleman, I think Pro Football Focus rated him like top 30. They gave him an awesome grade last year working in the slot. I mean, I'm excited. I mean, if Trey Flowers gets the start and Trey Flowers just starts tearing it up, like, I am just going to be so excited because that means our whole cornerback class is crazy young. And just, yeah, a lot of upside to look forward to. Rashad Penny is another one I should go over. Chris Carson obviously has earned the main duty. He's going to get most of the carries. We'll see if Rashad Penny works kind of like CJ Procise was supposed to, where he gets third down, passing plays. I'm excited to see him though. I mean, I like the fact that I'm not sure I would have taken him in the first round. I was really surprised. I felt like that was somewhat of a reach, but I will say, judging from his past and his durability, and really he doesn't have that many miles on him. So I think from that point, it's like good because we can't keep a running back healthy. I mean, geez, every single year a running back goes down. It's like running backs just go to get hurt in Seattle. I don't know what the deal is, but so I really hope that his durability stays up and he's able to stay healthy. I mean, having him and Chris Carson as a 1-2 punch, I'm excited, looking forward to it. It feels like finally we might get the running game back since Marshawn Lynch era. So yeah, lots of exciting things to look forward to. And then the final thing I wanted to get into is Tyler Lockett contract. So let me just, before anything, I'll come out and say I love Tyler Lockett. I love his personality. His return game is amazing. And he seems like just a fun guy, and he's just a fun player, and he seems like he actually, is a good person who cares about the community and cares about making a difference. But I will say I find that contract to be unbelievable. I mean, people like Deshaun Jackson are getting paid like $11.5 million a season or whatever, but it's also like you're paying Tyler Lockett, like, for those of you who don't know, we just signed him to a 3-year, $31.8 million deal. I think it can get all the way up to $37.8 million, which I'm sure those stipulations are like all pro and stuff, so chances of that are really slim. And if he does, then fine, he deserves it. But we're paying him whatever it is, like $10.6 million a season. I mean, that's close to Doug Baldwin money. And like, yeah, like I said, Deshaun Jackson's getting 11.5, and you could argue that he's better than Deshaun Jackson. But at the same time, Deshaun Jackson put in the work, established himself as like a top tier receiver, and got paid based off of that. in my opinion, Tyler Lockett's proven that he's an all-pro returner, but in terms of production and mainly staying healthy, he hasn't been able to stay on the field long enough to give him that type of money. And I read an article the other day that was talking about how, the Seahawks used to be a franchise where you had to prove your worth before they gave you a contract. I mean, borderline, you had to overprove it. I mean, I felt like when we went through that Super Bowl era where we re-signed Michael Bennett and Richard Sherman and Cliff Averill and Cam Chancellor and Earl Thomas, all of them I felt like were, they set the market, but just barely, and then instantly the market ballooned after them. So I think it's just weird to think about, like, and like I said earlier in this, I trust John Snyder because, damn, he's awesome. Like, he does an awesome job. It's crazy. But I do wonder, like, it seems like we paid him based off of him being a good guy and such, like, I mean, and he's the opposite of Earl Thomas, obviously. He seems like he's full in on the Seahawks and believes in everything they go for, or everything they're about. But I don't agree with paying him that much money. Not yet, at least. If he would have had a huge year this year and went off for, whatever, 800 to 1,000 yards and had 6-8 touchdowns, then maybe you can argue that. But right now, he has basically no stats to back it up. And if we're being honest, I mean, a Pro Bowl returner, or an All-Pro returner, don't get me wrong, it's extremely valuable. But there's really good returners like Cordarelle Patterson that got picked up by the Patriots. I don't know what the deal was, but I'm gonna guess it's under $5 million. Might even been for the veteran minimum. But I mean, he's an awesome returner, and it's like you can get, a veteran returner that's great at returning, but he'll take up a roster spot because he's not a good receiver. So I could see like why they're trying to sign him, but it just to me feels like they're reaching. It seems like unless they know something I don't and they see him in practice and they just know he's going to blow up and they're trying to get value before the market goes even higher because Sammy Watkins just got $16 million a year. So, I mean, yeah, the market's blowing up, but I thought we were a team that more so paid off of what you've done, not what you're going to do. So I'm a little surprised by the contract. And on top of that, I mean, to me, Frank Clark has proved his worth. Granted, the defensive end market is just unreal expensive. But personally, I think if we could sign Frank Clark for somewhere between 12 and 16 million a season, I think we should do it. I think he's young enough. I think that he's got a ton of upside. He's finally just starting this year. I mean, he's had Michael Bennett and Cliff Averill really in front of him taking some of his reps basically his whole career. I mean, I'm excited to just let him loose and see what he can do. Maybe that's what they're doing and they're going to pay him after, but giving Tyler Lockett that much money and we still haven't paid Frank Clark, who I think is more worthy based off of production, and then KJ Wright is going to be a free agent who, I don't know, we'll see this game how Shaquem does. And then, I mean, Russell Wilson, obviously, now with Aaron Rodgers' contract is going to be over $30 million a season. So I guess me just being a fan of the Hawks, like, I just want them to be competitive forever. Like, I'm just such a Hawks fan that, like, I want them to win, like, every year. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's probably every fan for every team. But so I think that their transition should be interesting. It should be fun to watch. I mean, we're getting a ton younger. It's just, yeah, it'll be fun to watch. So that's basically all I got for this video. Next week I should be posting another video. I'm going to recap most of the game. I'm going to talk about the game on Sunday from playing the Broncos. And then I will also talk about some salary cap things to go over. I think it'll be interesting. Talk about the free agents we have next year and kind of what we're looking like in salary cap and stuff like that. And so, yeah. So if you like my video, please like it or share it. And then if you have any questions or comments and if any of you out there, which I'm sure some of you will, if you disagree with me, I'd be happy to talk to you about it and we can get into it. And I'm happy to hear everybody's points and how they feel about things. Just wanted to open up the discussion about the Hawks. So, yeah, hope everybody has a good day.